Hi, I'm Tracy Harris, and I'm here today to give a speech entitled, Why Are You So Scared? Everything you say counts when you do public speaking, right? That's why it's ranked as the biggest fear ahead of dying. But the day afterwards, your audience only retains 25%, and a week later, only 10%. As a student, you've probably gave up on getting an answer in class, maybe too afraid of sounding dumb, or like me, maybe you've missed your shot with someone that you like, too afraid of rejection. We all need better public speaking skills to navigate the world. I've not only overcome my fears of speaking in public, but I've researched this subject a lot. Public speaking skills are not just for standing at podiums to address big crowds, but they are necessary to everybody in life. Today, I want to talk to you about public speaking fears, ways to shift into being more confident, and what that looks like when you take action to overcome that fear. So let's get right into what's holding people back. Not overcoming this fear can impact your whole life, and that is stage fright. Stage fright is the mental and physical manifestations of the fear that's associated with a public performance. And basically, the most common type of this is speech anxiety. The most common factor in this one is fear of rejection. People are so concerned, basically, with what others think about them. This manifests in the mental aspect, largely by bad experiences in the past, focusing on the fear when a person is presenting, and, like I said, the fear of rejection. The physical manifestations of this are the fight or flight behavior, and this is basically a body's physical response to what happens in a time of crisis. We all know that feeling of adrenaline. It's where our heart rate increases, we have sweating, and we just have an overall response where we want to run from the situation. We have expressing fear. That is where we see furrowed brows, shaking hands, maybe our knees start to feel weak, things like that. And then avoidance behavior. This is where someone avoids eye contact or avoids the audience in engaging, where they may take an approach where they stand back from the audience. So, I've had this actually happen to me in the past. I was once so afraid to speak into a microphone in front of a crowd that I thought the breath from me reading would be so overwhelming to the crowd and the microphone that I didn't breathe through a whole page reading. And by the time that I was 3/4 of the way through reading the page, I nearly fainted because I was so scared to exhale. Like I said, I have worked on my fears of public speaking. So we know that this is a serious thing. And we know that this is a serious thing because it is, in fact, the number one fear for everyone, pretty much, just about. For 73% of Americans, they fear this more than dying, and in fact, more than snakes, according to the National Institute of Mental Health. It is a diagnosable mental health disorder. It's called social anxiety disorder. It falls in that category in the DSM, the Diagnostical Statistical Manual, which is what psychologists use to diagnose mental illnesses. According to MRIs, it is physically impossible to recall information during high anxiety. So no matter how much you've prepared, no matter how much you study or know your information, when you're under these high anxiety stress situations, you will have an ability or you will have the inability to recall what you have studied so well and what you know. Forbes magazine has shown that there can be missed career opportunities, professional limitations. In fact, you can make 10% less in your overall career due to being held back from these hindrances. as far as Columbia State students go. In my audience today, you can lose scholarships based on the inability to interview with potential people, and then not being able to have engagement in clubs or activities can lead to you maybe not even discovering who you could be, or your talent's going undiscovered and you not realizing your full potential just because you're afraid to engage in crowds. So now that you know the seriousness of this issue, let's look at the ways that you can shift into confidence. Really, you just need to start practicing and just be yourself. One of the best people to analyze this completely is Dale Carnegie. He's really a pro, and this is the how of it. It's being yourself, SELF, and I come up with this little analogy, and practice. So when it comes to the subject matter, study it. Have experience if you don't, have the ability to study it well. Just at least have experience. You've got the S and the E. When it comes to speaking, be enthusiastic, be lively. Nobody wants to hear a boring, monotone speaker. Share stories and your feelings. So you want to be engaged with your audience. You want to have feelings. Share a part of yourself. So you've got the SELF, subject matter, study it, or have life experience. When it comes to speaking, be enthusiastic and lively, and share a part of yourself with your audience. SELF. Once you've got all that down, practice it. And that's basically how it works, but this is why it works. The reason that it works is because when you do this, you eliminate some of the possibilities that you have of things going wrong. You prepare yourself. You don't have that vulnerability because you're more confident. And you know your material well, and you're better prepared. So, let's see. Moving on. So, sorry. Anyway, now let's glimpse at action steps and what life can look like once you start taking the action. Basically, you need to know what you know and what you like. Studies have shown, according to the Dale Carnegie public speaking model, that people are more enthusiastic and more engaged on subjects that they care about. Nobody wants to talk about things that they don't care about, right? Record yourself speaking. Watch it. Take notes. See what you do that you don't like, and get better at it. Go out and practice. If you can find an audience that's a little bit older or just a little bit younger, you are going to be more successful with your practicing. That fear of rejection, we all care most about being rejected by our same age peers. That's just natural. So find maybe, if you're a college student, like I said, find a daycare center or some younger kids to maybe speak to at a library, or maybe some people at a nursing home. They don't have a lot of visitors. You could go and practice your public speaking with them. They need that right now. And so you could practice with them. Once you have narrowed those things down, go out and practice. You can download the Dale Carnegie Speak More Effectively. It's a free PDF. It's not that long. It gives all this information. So now is the time to start being more confident in practicing these. So you can take action, work on the fear, reap the rewards of a fuller life. And what a fuller life looks like, it's pretty simple. You can see a stranger in need. Help within minutes because you've got effective communication skills. Like I said, make 10% more on your job. You can give your best friend the wedding speech that they always dreamed of. After a heated argument, maybe say you've got two friends that have been lifelong friends since you were in kindergarten. Maybe you're the one that can repair that and bring your friends back together. And maybe you can land an internship after college at a Fortune 500 company. So public speaking, like I said, is vital for success. But it's also key to having a fuller life. Finally, remember, everything you say counts, and sometimes what you don't say can count even more. So we've looked at the fears. We looked at ways to shift into confidence and what life can look like when you start overcoming the fear. Public speaking is not just for addressing big crowds from behind a podium, but it's necessary. The person in the mirror is judging your performance the most. And I really hope that today I have convinced you that you should conquer your fear of public speaking. And Dale Carnegie, like I said, he said, that you can conquer almost any fear if you will only make up your mind to do so. For remember, fear doesn't exist anywhere except in the mind, and that really is the truth. So I hope that today you will decide to work on your fear, even if it's just a little bit, so that you can have a more successful life after you leave the Levy estate. Thank you for your time.